Welcome to my TECH306 Assessment 2 card game. It's called Wizards of Redesign, and it is a card game based around industrial arts timber. The card game itself has 4 different decks and includes a couple of cards that introduce you how to play the actual game. So as you can see, there's a rules card that basically outlines all the different rules for the game itself. There's a how to play card. It has step-by-step instructions on how you actually play the game. And then there's also a what you need to play card, which give you all the different materials and items you'll need to play this game. The game itself comes with the 4 basic decks, and then eventually there will be more decks made and more cards added to these decks in expansion packs. The first deck is the Design Factors deck, which is the first card that students will pull out of the deck. As you can see, there is a variety of different design factors. All 9 of the different design factors are in this, and they all have their different definitions on the card themselves, but there is also a few different wild cards within this deck itself, which either let the teacher choose a card for the students or let the students choose their own design factor. The next deck is the Furniture Items deck, and this includes a whole bunch of different furniture items, such as tall boys, bedside tables, wine racks, outdoor benches, entertainment units, and a couple of Joker cards as well, which then let the students choose their own piece of furniture. The next deck is a Situations deck, which includes different situations that the furniture will be used in. Things like uni students who can constantly rent and move houses, things like older people who have low mobility, and things like people who like to entertain a lot and need a large piece of furniture. There is also a 4th deck included, but this is an optional deck that doesn't need to be played with. These are called fun cards, and these cards actually offer challenges for the players to conduct. So different things like completing your redesign within 10 minutes time, jokers which let you choose your own design constraints, and then other things like choosing 2 different design factors to apply to your thing, or having 2 different situations where your furniture item needs to fit into once it's been redesigned. So once you have all 4 decks laid out simultaneously next to each other, you then need to pick 1 card from each deck. So I'll first turn over my design factor card. I got a wild card, so this means I can pick any of the 9 different design factors and use that as my design factor. My furniture item will then be a sit or stand desk, so I now have to apply my design factor to my furniture card and change that piece of furniture to a way where it relates back to that design factor. I then pull out my situation card, which is to create a redesigned furniture for a uni student who rents and is constantly moving from house to house. And then I'm also going to pick a fun card to demonstrate how they work. This fun card means I have to complete my redesign within 10 minutes. Usually the amount of time allocated for a design is 20 minutes, and the player base can be anywhere from 2 people to 30 people. This game is best suited for a class activity, whether it be the teacher running it or a student running it. The different situation cards allow things to be broken into smaller groups themselves, so things like 4 people can work on one redesign, or you can work in pairs. That's why it is best for a larger suited class rather than just 1 or 2 people. I've actually modified this game from my original design, and my original design was based for a small amount of people, and instead, after feedback and playing it with other students, I decided myself that it should be a larger scale game that appeals to more students and can have more students involved, and then that way this could be a really good starting lesson activity that could be done at the very start of a lesson, or it could be done when there's 15-20 minutes left of a lesson, which gives students a chance to redesign and reimagine different furnitures and explain themselves and create new ideas and new things which relate to their design factors themselves. This game will really help students understand the design factors a lot better and how they need to work together with the piece of furniture and a situation, and overall I really enjoyed playing this game. Now let's get into playing. Just before we start the game, I need to make sure I set up all the correct equipment for all the students so that they all have the same equal playing field as each other. So first I've got set up my drawing board and a piece of paper set on my drawing board. I've then got my protractor set here, and then I've got all my different angles and circle guides. I've also got a bag of pencils ready for students so if they didn't bring their own pencils, and then I've also got a small ruler. Next thing I need to do is I need to read out the how to play cards and what they actually have to do for the game itself if it's the first time the students are playing it. If it's a second or third time, the students will most likely remember what the rules are of the game. I then need an egg timer or a phone timer. I've got my phone just here. I've got a 10-minute timer set up, and all I need to do is press start on the timer itself. It'll start counting down from 10 minutes, and that's the amount of time that the students have to complete this specific design challenge, which is a wild card, which I'm going to choose a specific design factor for. I've then got my sit or stand desk as my furniture piece. I've then got my situation of a uni student who is constantly moving houses and is renting houses, And then I've also got to complete my design in 10 minutes, which is the challenge card itself, which is why my timer is set at 10 minutes. So now that that's over, we can have a look at each student's individual drawings of what they actually drew. So my wild card, I obviously chose sustainability as my design factor to replace the wild card itself. I had the sit or stand desk. I chose to do a sit down desk. And then I had my situation of a uni student who's constantly on the move, while I also have my challenge card of complete my redesign in 10 minutes. As you can see, I've drawn a simple desk and I've annotated the desk, and now I can explain to the class exactly why I did what I did and have annotated the way I have. So it actually has a bookcase built into the desk, so it can be disassembled easily, and it's all built with knockdown joinery and fitting, so things like cam lock joints and stuff like that is what's been constructed with. So it's also freestanding, so it doesn't need to be attached to any walls and create holes in walls, which can be a pain in the bum to try and fix in a rental property, which sits with our situational card. It also has a large surface for uni work to be done, and the bookcase itself can be used for storage for uni work or textbooks, which also fits in with our situation really, really well. The sustainability of it is that it is fit for purpose, and it has a lot of storage options, which means you don't actually need two separate pieces of furniture. You don't need to buy a bookcase and you don't need to buy a desk. It's all in one together. It's lightweight and easy to move, and because of those knockdown fittings, it can be disassembled super, super easy, which fit our design factor card really, really well. Obviously, I'd constructed this all within the 10 minutes and annotated it within the 10 minutes, which fits our challenge card itself. And then obviously I have designed the desk while it also fits in with another piece of furniture, so that it does fit our furniture card. The whole idea of explaining this to the class and having the class explain their furniture to each other will really help their creativity and their understanding of different pieces of furniture and how they can fit things to suit their design factors, how they can change things to fit a situation or to fit a design factor. It's really, really critical for students to understand critical thinking of other people's projects themselves, and this game will really help shape that for certain students and really develop their ideas and understandings of creative thinking. This game overall I found really enjoyable to work with and to actually play itself. It's a really creative game, and it really actually makes you think a little bit harder about how things can be made and how things should be made. The creativity behind the game I find is really, really good, and I find that all the different options for the different furniture pieces, so things like, you know, tall boys, bedside tables, wine racks, all those sorts of things, dining chairs and bookcases, really suit well with the fact that, you know, you then have all these different design factors, all work really well with each and every one of these cards, and they all work really well with all of these different situations. Like I said at the very start, different packs and extras will be coming out for all of the different decks themselves, so there'll be new different furniture pieces that you could do. There'll be new situations coming out, and there can also be a few new design factors that come out as time goes along, and obviously new and emerging technologies come out and different design factors have been implemented to furniture. There'll also be a new set of challenge cards that come out every month, which will offer different opportunities for students to showcase their work. Things like, you know, getting up in front of the class and doing a whole presentation on it, or the challenge card might be an assessment based around this game itself. So their assessment is to take home a card game, sort of see if they can recreate the furniture that the card game's asking them to create, and go from there. Or a teacher nominates just a certain set of cards to a certain students, so they might randomly pull out one card and go, that's your situation card, that's your furniture card, and that's your design card. That's what you have to work with, and that's what your assessment is based on. Overall, I'm extremely happy with this game, and I hope other students can understand it and have a really good time playing it as well. Thank you.